How's it going, everyone? College Lefty, and in this video I'm going to be ranking every single All-Star Game card that we have in MLB The Show 22, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, this is probably the hardest list to rank in terms of content in MLB The Show 22 because a lot of these All-Star Game players are very similar. The margin of difference between some of these cards is very small. But coming in at number 51, we have Luis Arraez. At 50, we have Clayton Kershaw. And I am going to include some of the Home Run Derby X players just because they're a part of the Home Run Derby section in the game. They're not a part of the collection, though. But at number 49, Johnny Gomes. At number 48, David Bednar. I have adjusted my tier lists a little bit, or at least kind of where I've ranked these players. I'm going to have every single card in the All-Star Game program, as well as all of the extra cards that we got recently. I'm not going to include David Ortiz as that's not an All-Star Game card, but I will include Jason Dominguez and Miguel Cabrera. But as we kind of move through this list, a lot of this is personal preference. I have some of these relievers ranked a little bit lower just because I think they're valuable, but they might not be as valuable as maybe a position player that would play all 9 innings. The reliever might only come in for, one batter or for 3 outs, right? Facing 3 batters, that type of thing. While that might be extremely important in a game of ranked seasons, I think putting up some runs or minimizing the amount of runs your opponent scores throughout, 5 or 6 innings as a starting pitcher is a little bit more valuable. So that's kind of where I got some of these players and why I've ranked them in certain places. Now, I did make a list of ranking these players before they were released, kind of where I was expecting them to be at. I thought they might add, a couple pitches. Like, for example, I thought they might give Shane McClanahan a sinker. That would have made him a lot better. I have dropped him down on the list significantly. Same type of thing with Carlos Rodon. I thought he might get a sinker as well. It seems like they wanted to give us a lot of really good players, but they didn't want to give us as many end game players like we might have saw in last year's game, right? These All-Star Game players in last year's game were arguably some of the best cards throughout the entire year, even after other cards were released. They were still some of the best players. But with that said, I think this time around, I think that these players will be replaced a little bit easier. However, these cards are extremely good and some of the best cards in the game at the moment. But you might disagree there with Adrian Gonzalez. I think he has one of the better swings out of the entire Home Run Derby X player pack. Keep in mind that we might get another Home Run Derby X event on August 15th. We have the Mexico City event taking place, and we could see more, celebrities, legends featured in that pack. But as we move through the tier list here, kind of surprising to have Verlander ranked much lower than what I was expecting. They didn't give him a sinker or a cutter, which I think makes him a lot worse, even though he does have pretty good control on all of his individual pitches, as well as break. His break attributes are really good as well. Alejandro Kirk at number 33. I might have had this card ranked a little high. He's still a very good catcher, but I think Wilson Contreras is a lot better. At number 32, Emmanuel CLASE. This card has outlier. He should be pretty good, but only 3 pitches. Ryan Helsley is at number 31 just because he has that 4th pitch. His hits in K per 9 are really solid at 119 and 110. At number 30, we have Nick Swisher. I think that might be the best Home Run Derby X player out of the pack. He gets 100 attributes across the board in hitting as well as gold defense, and he plays a good amount of secondary positions. At number 29, Byron Buxton. I wish this card would be a lot better against righties in terms of contact. He hit a home run on a pitch up above the strike zone, and they gave him better bunting attribute than they did contact versus right. Aaron Judge at number 28 kind of makes me a little bit sad. He was not as good against lefties as I thought he would be. Tim Anderson at number 27. This card absolutely crushes lefties. He does have some pretty good active quirks, and I think he has some value as a starting shortstop, but lower contact versus right. JD Martinez, ranked a little bit higher than what I was expecting. At number 26, an elite hitter with silver defense and would get gold defense out there, but just not fast enough. We have Andres Gimenez at number 25, an all-around pretty good middle infielder that I think you could start, right, depending on how many lefties you have in your lineup. Martin Perez at number 24. This one might be a little bit surprising, but I think a lefty with the sinker-cutter combination, even with the lower K per 9, is still pretty valuable. At number 23, Pete Alonso. I think Pete Alonso might be the worst home run derby card. Maybe Albert Pujols. I know that's kind of interesting. I have the 97s ranked below the 95s, but that's personal preference, right? Both of them are first basemen. Both of them have a lot of power. They're very similar cards. I would personally rather use someone like Acuna, maybe a little lower contact, but he plays outfield. He's got some better speed, some better defense. Maybe Jose Ramirez, a switch hitter, a player that you can use at a variety of positions, even though his contact is actually the lowest out of all of these guys. At number 19, Kyle Schwarber with increased vision. That's mainly why I've upgraded him a little bit, or I guess put him a little higher than these other guys. And then I think the best home run derby card, or at least out of the base round as we get up to the final two guys, Corey Seager at number 18. Definitely solid left-handed bat that will play, middle infield positions. Manny Machado coming in at number 17. I would use this card if I didn't have George Brett. He would probably be one of my starting third basemen along with a couple other guys. At number 16, we have Luis Castillo. And this card, to me, looks a lot better than what I was expecting. They didn't give him 5 pitches, but he does have outlier. Shohei Ohtani at number 15. A little bit lower attributes for pitching than I thought he would get, but he is an absolute beast at the plate. Will be able to crush the ball. Alek Manoah at number 14. I thought he would have higher break attributes on his individual pitches. They only gave him 99 break on the slider. Wilson Contreras at number 13. This card to me is what I'm looking for in a catcher, right? I don't necessarily want Alejandro Kirk, who has reverse splits, when I have a similar guy in Joe Mauer. Same type of thing with Mike Napoli, right? Mike Napoli is more of a righty killer, and I want Wilson Contreras to balance Joe Mauer out when I'm facing Randy Johnson, essentially. But as we move through this list here, Miguel Cabrera is a really solid card. You might flip-flop Miguel Cabrera and Stanton. Stanton is the better pure hitter, obviously, but he's just not usable out there on defense. 32 speed, will not have any range. Even if he had 99 reaction, 32 speed would not really play that well. At number 9, Dansby Swanson, one of the best cards out of the entire program. And number 8, Jason Dominguez. This card, a surprise tops now guy. I know it's not necessarily an all-star, but it was from the Future Star All-Star game. And I want to say that that card is a top outfielder in the game right now. At number 7, Bryce Harper. Depending on if you're looking for a switch hitter or not, you might use him in the outfield. I've even played people that had cover athlete Harper or live series Harper in center field, and they played all right. So it kind of just depends on what you're looking for. Julio Rodriguez at number 6. We actually have a couple different Julio Rodriguez cards in the top 10. Sandy Alcantara at number 5. This card is one of the best starting pitchers in the game, in my opinion. And at number 4, maybe slightly better because of the increased K per 9. I like his pitch repertoire, the way it's kind of established in his rotation, right? Cutter, primary, sinker, secondary, things like that. I like that setup a little bit more. Juan Soto at number 3. This is a home run derby card with incredible active live series quirks. But I have J-Rod at number 2 just because he brings a little bit more defensive ability in center field. Even though he has 64 defense and 63 reaction, that 99 speed is going to play really well. And then, of course, at number 1, Jackie Robinson, my favorite card in MLB The Show 22 as of this moment. And before he was released, it would have easily been 93 overall Ketel Marte as my favorite card, and I'm still using him in the lineup. This is the current squad that we're rocking with. I haven't played a game with these cards yet, but I do plan on that. I've been working on a couple things, preparing for the upcoming school year as I am a teacher, but I plan on getting some gameplay with Jackie Robinson, with a few of these all-star game players, and I really want to play in that Moonshot event and earn some of those finest cards. But that's going to do it for this video. Let me know what you think about my ranking list for all of the All-Star Game players, Home Run Derby cards, as well as All-Star Game program cards. That's going to do it for this video. I'm College Lefty, and peace out.